Who was Cain's wife? Dear brothers and friends, today we gather to reflect on a question that has intrigued many scholars and believers over the centuries. Who was Cain's wife? Although this question is not explicitly answered in the Scriptures, it provides an opportunity to explore the early life of humanity according to the biblical account and to better understand Jehovah's intervention and Jesus' mission. As we delve into this question, we will consider the teachings of the Scriptures and the involvement of Jehovah and Jesus, seeking a clear and uplifting understanding. The story of Cain is found in the book of Genesis. In Genesis 4:1-2, we read, Adam made love to his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. She said, "With the help of the Lord I have brought forth a man." Later she gave birth to his brother Abel. Cain and Abel were the first sons of Adam and Eve. The story of these brothers is tragic, as Cain, driven by envy, killed his brother Abel. After this act, Jehovah punished Cain, but also protected him from those who might seek to avenge Abel's death. In Genesis 4:15, we read, "But the Lord said to him, 'Not so, anyone who kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over.' Then the Lord put a mark on Cain so that no one who found him would kill him." After this, Cain went away from the presence of Jehovah and settled in the land of Nod. The question of who Cain's wife was arises when we read in Genesis 4:17, "Cain made love to his wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Enoch." Cain was then building a city, and he named it after his son Enoch. The Bible does not explicitly mention who this woman was or where she came from. However, we can deduce some possibilities based on the context and understanding of the early human population. Firstly, it is important to remember that Adam and Eve were the first humans created by Jehovah, and that they had many sons and daughters besides Cain and Abel. In Genesis 5:4 we read, "After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters." This information suggests that there were more descendants of Adam and Eve who are not explicitly mentioned in the earlier narrative. Therefore, it is very likely that Cain's wife was one of his sisters or a niece, a direct descendant of Adam and Eve. In the early days of humanity, marriage between siblings or close relatives was necessary for the propagation of the human race. This type of union was not prohibited at that time, and would not have had the same genetic implications as it does today, due to the genetic purity of the initial population. Jehovah's involvement in the early life of humanity is fundamental. Jehovah created Adam and Eve in his image and likeness, and gave them the mandate to be fruitful and multiply, filling the earth. In Genesis 1:28, we read, "God blessed them and said to them, 'Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it.'" This mandate implies the necessity for their descendants to unite in marriage to fulfill this divine purpose. Jesus, in his ministry, reaffirmed the importance of marriage and family in Jehovah's plan. In Matthew 19, verse 4-6, Jesus says, "Haven't you read," he replied, "that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female, and said, 'For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore what God has joined together, let no one separate.'" This teaching underscores the sanctity of marriage as a divine institution from creation. The congregation plays a vital role in remembering and celebrating biblical teachings about marriage and family. By gathering to study the Bible, pray, and worship together, we strengthen our faith and understanding of Jehovah and Jesus' teachings. In Hebrews 10:24-25, we are exhorted, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." The congregation is a place where we can learn and grow together, seeking Jehovah's guidance in all our decisions. Applying the teachings from the lives of Cain and his wife in our daily lives means living with a constant awareness of the importance of marriage and family in Jehovah's plan. Practicing daily devotion and meditating on the scriptures allows us to deepen our relationship with Jehovah and Jesus and live according to their teachings. We should strive to value and strengthen our family relationships, recognizing their crucial role in our spiritual lives. In conclusion, although the Bible does not explicitly mention who Cain's wife was, the available information suggests that she was likely a sister or niece, a direct descendant of Adam and Eve. This union would have been necessary for the propagation of the human race in the early days of humanity. Through the story of Cain and his wife, we learn about the importance of marriage and family in Jehovah's plan and living in response to his love and grace. May this reflection inspire us to live with active faith and deep love for Jehovah and Jesus, trusting in their guidance and protection, and anticipating with hope the promise of their eternal kingdom. Amen.